Greetings, programs. Welcome back to ArcNeo Reviews. Welcome back to Thanksgiving on day 4, the day that actually is on Thanksgiving. So, considering that this is the video that takes place on the day itself, we're going to look at something special. We're going to go ahead and actually dive into third party to look at Eris Kultur. Yes, this is that, I can't remember if it's Oculus Max, Mastermind Creations, might be the same company. Who knows at this point? This is that crazy Femturn figure that showed up a while back and blew people's minds. And she is absolutely awesome. There are a couple different versions of her, some different paint jobs. I've seen one that's like the gray here is replaced with like other purple. There's one that's painted like Armada Megatron and even has like the big, head horns. Here, I believe this is kind of the basic release, but she's super cool. We're gonna go ahead and check her out. First of any figure I've ever seen, these plastic treads, like these alone, are so mind-blowing to me. They move so cleanly. So you do get this really satisfying sound while you wheel her around. The turret is pretty posable. You get some up, you get down, you get rotation. The way they made the turret work is hysterical to me. When we get a little further into transformation, I love the way they worked it out. Only like really visible stuff is, you can kind of tell where her head is, especially if you look on the underside. And yeah, I can never remember if you're supposed to have her hands facing this way or like turn them around so they're palm side down. They don't seem quite happy no matter which way I do it, so I just kind of went with this because this is where the as you can already see, individual fingers are the least unhappy with me, so I just went with it. You can also see like a little bit of, this was actually some paint scrape that was there like the day I got this figure, but it's on the back side. I've never had any paint scrape on anything you actually see, so I don't care. This thing's cool. Let's go ahead and get her transformed. So we're going to start by coming up here and pulling her feet out of the back of the turret. You can kind of tell now, actually, if we take a second to look here. Yeah, the turret articulation, that's her waist articulation. Because in a first for any tank former I've ever seen, the turret is made out of her legs. So go ahead and bring the feet out. You've got little spots right here. The feet are tapping into the side. Rotate up a little bit so that we can get these gold pieces folded down. And then get the legs to come just a little bit apart from each other. And I was going to say, the combination of diecast and the fact that it is quite chilly where I live right now. There we go. Yeah, anything that's pegging into diecast is holding very tight right now. But go ahead, you've got this part. Just fold this piece over and rotate the cannons forward. You can like pop the cannons off and do other things with them. I don't know what you would do with them, but they are made to be, separate pieces. If nothing else, that probably keeps them, from breaking or something. But go ahead and finish straightening out her legs. And then, actually, really quick, there's also this funky hinge here where you shift the leg down like that, and then might take a little bit of fighting, but this little piece right here actually will rotate out and cover this gap up. There we go. Like that. So, same thing over here. Go ahead and get the leg to rotate around. Straighten it out. We'll deal with the feet a little more properly later, but shift the thigh down and rotate the thigh filler in. Sometimes it works easiest if you like just kind of grab these two pieces together and start rotating the outer piece over it. But there we go. Situate the feet, at least partially here. The feet are cool on this figure, but they're also like a little bit of a hassle to deal with during transformation because there's no definitive points to put in everything. You just start going until things start to stand. But now we've got that done. Go ahead and rotate this outer piece of the turret up and forward like that. It will probably, in that same move, end up splitting the front right there. But do that. Come down in here. Just start using this whole mess of joints going on to rotate the arms into place. Fold down the chest. So she's kind of doing a very, very awkward Superman pose at this point. Rotate the upper body. I think we're going to have to adjust the camera a little bit here. So, then what we're going to do is we're going to take these booms, rotate them up, twist them, and then fold them back so that this tab and slot meet up. So, same thing over here. Up, twist, back down, bring the torso down, put the arms kind of in place better. Couple different ways you can do the backpack if you want. The most standard way to do the backpack is go ahead and get this piece, which again, dealing with cold and die-cast, but just rotate over these double hinges like that. Stand this piece up, and then there is a little tab sticking out down there that, if you get everything lined up right, there's a little partial slot right there that will come down over that piece and lock things into place. So, like that. Oh, I forgot. Really quick, before we bring these all the way in, take this panel on a double hinge and just shift it down. That will reveal her head facing the wrong way. Then we just fold this back up. And there's it's actually little slots, little tabs right there. They're going into slots right there. So this figure is a very, very solid figure when it comes to that. Go ahead and take this little piece right here. Actually open that up. That will let you extend the arms. Then fold this piece back up and you've got a slot and a tab right up there. Rotate the arm into place. Same thing over here. Open this up. Get everything into position. Close that up so it's locked in. Come to the hips right here and actually fold these little pieces down, which are tabbed into the lower waist. That will free up even more waist articulation. And go ahead and kind of shift her shoulders up into position. Turn the head around. And there you have Eris Kultur in her robot mode. And I gotta say, this figure looks absolutely incredible. Either forearm will have a tab sticking out. There is a slot in the bottom of the turret. Go ahead and just peg that on. I love this figure. I absolutely love this figure. I don't buy a lot of third-party stuff. This is one of them where I did. I'm so glad that I did. Before we actually get into the articulation, I'm going to try to just bring her in here and just gush over those details. On top of the fact that, like Tarn, this is a mask. Unlike the Hasbro Tarn, you can take the mask off and get a face that the camera won't focus on. The way they got expression by just like slightly shifting the paint on her face is so cool to me. Because what I can tell, that is intentional. That's not like a paint miss or something. All of them, the product shots, they all look like that. It looks so cool. She's got 4 eyes, kind of like Deathsaurus, which is always a really cool touch. But then we get into the articulation on this girl, and holy cow. So, the neck is kind of on a stalk. So you've got, she can full on giggity if you need. She can look down all the way. She can look up all the way. She gets, some side-to-side action, rotation. Basically the full range of head articulation. Shoulders can rotate full 360, not counting the back kibble that will be in the way. She can move her arms out all the way, and then some. You've got a about 90-degree bend at the knee. You've got a rotation right there just above. The hands and the wrists are where things get insane. So you've got a hinge here and a ball joint up in the main arm. So you get just this deep range of motion. Every knuckle is its own hinge with a ball joint at the base of each finger. So, the ball joint at the base of the thumb, and then each finger actually has a little side-to-side hinge as well. So the range on her hands is unheard of. I'm very, very careful and kid glove with it because, as you can see, these are tiny joints. And I really, really do not want to mess those up. So I tend to just leave her with her hands in a fist to be safe. But yeah, no, and you've also got that joint, that piece kind of in the back, so you can shift her shoulders up and down a little bit, depending on what you're trying to do, or, shift them outward a little. She has butterfly joints in there. Now, if you push too far on the butterfly joint, it will, start to actually pop off the chest piece. But everything, at least on mine, as long as I've had her, everything is still very, very solid. You can see my not entirely straight Shattered Glass Decepticon insignia up there. You end up with a couple sets of joints here in her torso after you take those little tabs out. So, she can bend forward. She can arch her back. A little trickier to do that one. She's got, side-to-side motion even. I'm pretty sure this is, if it's not a ball joint, it's something masquerading as a ball joint. I can't quite tell. I think it might just be a really, really good universal. As good as the range is on it, like, it does also an equally great job of holding on to its position. So once you pose her, she does stay posed really well. The hips are a little strange because of like the way that this piece shifts for transformation. It does end up meaning that her hip attaches at kind of a weird spot of the leg. So to get her leg posing looking right, you will be moving, a lot of other stuff as well. Mainly just in using the thigh rotation and keeping this little panel closed. So, not the end of the world. It does mean she can end up kicking forward all the way. You basically have a full 360 with the leg, actually. So, she her leg will go wherever. You can use the extra joints in there to bring things out so she can almost do the splits. On top of the rotation at the thigh, you do also have a rotation right here just above the knee. The knee is single jointed, but full range all the same. The knee spikes will also move around as needed. You can also just kind of pop them out like that if you want. You've got a rotation both ways at the ankle. You also do have the joint up here from the turret mode. Then, like I said, with the feet, this piece does not move at all. You actually are just moving these pieces around the foot. When you're getting her posed, it can take a bit of extra messing around because you've got to move this piece. When you're moving it, it will move the front. But these are like individual joints. Then you also have 2 more joints for the toes. So, yeah, the feet on her end up taking the most time to get posed right. Make sure she's stable. But once you get it done, she is incredible. She holds really dynamic poses really, really easily. I'm also impressed at how, like, as easily as the mask snaps on and off, it doesn't just fall off. Like, I've never had it just come off while doing stuff like this. This is... Now, I know that the whole thing with her was she was supposed to be, like, the first in a line of, like, almost original characters. There is, like, a whole lore about her being able to, like, change her alt mode to copy others' powers and stuff. So this is literally Eris copying their version of Tarn, which was named Kultur, hence Eris Kultur. I don't know if they've ever actually released other figures from their OC line other than Eris. I know they've done at least 3 versions of her. All I know is this is one of the best third-party figures I've ever seen. Yes, I'm sure... Let me put it this way. I've not had any problems with the hands. Once in a while, I might knock a finger off. Pops right back on, no big deal. I'm sure if someone got particularly ham-fisted, yes, you would have trouble with the hands. Don't be an idiot with your figures that have small, tiny, fragile parts. And this will be one of the absolute, like, most awesome parts of your collection. So, as always, thank you guys for watching. I will see you next time. Happy Thanksgiving.